Welcome to my channel, Theshafaqeffect.
Because women like that say you can love, you love. Make a black guy fall in love with you. And you leave him, he will kill you, the cat, the dog, go on holiday and pretend nothing ever happened.
Hello, first of all, but I don't think you can hear me. Well, it is. Right, I don't seem to see where the problem is because I got the gallery, got hide, full screen.
That's better now.
Yes. Did you turn this thing on or something? I
Yes.
say it anymore. I said it's a problem your end. It can't be a problem my end because I know I was rock and rolling, son. And all my things are. I do meetings like this a lot, and I never have a problem. I said, boy, it must be a problem your end. Welcome, young lady. How are you doing? Okay, let's start the interview.
Let me turn the phone off first before it starts ringing in the middle of the talk.
Yeah, please do. That was hilariously funny. So, from the meeting on Friday, that brief meeting counter, look where we are today. This is amazing.
Yes.
With your Supergirl t-shirt. Right, hold on, let's just hit transfers into my headphones. Hello?
Yes.
Talk to me. Yeah?
Fantastic.
So again?
We're ready when you are.
I'm ready. Talk. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Theshafaqeffect show podcast, which brings you a lot of info about very interesting personalities. And today we've got the lovely comedian, Peter Francis. He's also an entrepreneur. He's a comedian. What I've read, he's also doing a lot of other things. He writes his own shows. You are involved in the music industry, is that correct?
When you say music, well, I play music on radio. Yes, I play music on radio. That's like a little hobby of mine. I've been playing music since I was a little baby. But I play music on radio, yes, I do. But I write books, I write plays.
So he's an author as well.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle of writing something. Am I allowed to say it? No. Well, we'll get into it, see if I can say it. But I'm also a stand-up comedian. I've been a comedian for 22 years, and I travel overseas a lot. And most of my comedy is done overseas, but I'm now focusing on London because I've seen too many people being exploited, and I'm not. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I know these guys, and look at me. But yeah, so that will come this year. But it's mainly I'm focused. The last 2 years I've been focused on the book, or should I say books, and turning the books into plays and films.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, without revealing any details about the books, what are they? I mean, what inspired you about that? What are they about?
Right, the book is based on my life, all right? And what inspired me was my girls, and they've inspired me through the COVID that I did things back to front. I wrote the play first, and then I sat on it because I've never written a book, and my daughters encouraged me to write the book. So in COVID, when I couldn't do comedy, I sat down writing a book, and that's what I did. I wrote the book.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And is it about comedy or is it about a serious?
Oh, it's about my life. It's about a young man's journey. He's not into gangs or anything like that, but because he has to try and prove himself all the time, he gets tied up in his peer pressure, and it leads him into certain situations and circumstances that he shouldn't really be involved in, but he gets involved in it again through peer pressure. It's a book that will enhance the lives of families, well, I say parents and children. And it's been on Amazon now for about a year. It's got 5 stars recommended. It's pure 5 stars. There's no lower than 5. Well, no, there's a 4-star, 4.5 star. But the ratings is 5-star. And if you type in consequences, the first one that comes up. So the book is doing really well.
That's fantastic. So is it about true story from your life? Okay.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. You heard that.
Yes, indeed. True stories that relates to this modern day society.
What is it called?
It's called Consequences by Peter Francis.
Okay, that's interesting.
And part 2 is called Karma.
So you learn from the consequences to go into karma,
The
right?
consequences takes you into karma. Yes,
Yes.
that's what I want to say. Consequences of your actions has always got repentance to it, and karma is showing you what will happen if you through consequences.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in that.
Good.
I guess we can't say it out loud, but we say karma is a bitch. And
Why
people
can't you say that
tend
loud?
to
Karma's a bitch. Say it loud, loud and proud. Go for it.
the thing about karma is it is a real thing. So what goes around comes around. A lot of people intend to forget when they're actually doing things, when they're creating things, that it will one way or the other hit them back.
Yes, but do you know some people don't believe in karma?
You
Some
don't
people
need to
just
believe it. It just happens.
okay. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, you don't believe it just happens. It just happens.
Believe is a doubt.
Hmm. Wow.
Believe is something you haven't proven or it's
Is
not
this your spiritual side coming through now? Believe it or doubt. It's a doubt.
right.
That's it. Okay, yeah. Yes. I'll tell you what, the book is an interesting read. Part two was meant to come out last year, but it didn't come out yet. And do you know why it hasn't come out? Because I'm looking for a cover. That's what's stopping my book coming out. I can't find an appropriate cover. So if anyone's watching this, I would say to them, if I say to you karma, what image does that portray? And don't say a Buddha or something like that. I need something, you know what I'm saying, to grab me. So you might have some illustrators out there who
Yes.
might be very creative and say, yeah. Although someone said, maybe I need to take an extract from the book and put that on the front page. We should see.
How about expression of yourself with full body image, where you're actually looking back at the karma? So all these little pictures, such as I don't know, whatever you've done.
Go on.
Karma is actually following you, like in a cartoon. You're looking back and you're terrified about that because they're coming for you.
So it'll be an image of me just looking back, yeah.
Looking
But you
back,
see, the
and you
book's not
see all these
entirely
little images
right,
about
right.
the consequences, which are actually following you.
Interesting. Remember, it's a book cover, yeah. What you just sounded like a trailer, which is sound really good. No, it's fine. It's fine. I understand. It's good. It's good. But yeah,
I can image a picture in my head.
can you? You'd have to
Yes.
send that image to me.
Okay.
Yeah, do that. Send that image to me. That'd be
I'm
great.
very artistically inclined.
Well, there you go then.
Say it again.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Send the image to me. Send it to me.
I will do.
I'll make
Yes,
notes.
I can visualize everything very well.
There you go, girl. That's what I'm talking about. Go for it
So,
now.
tell me about yourself. I mean, our audience would like to know who you actually are. You've talked about your book, which is quite interesting, but
Right.
at the same time, about your history. I mean, I've looked into your podcast, which you've done with this other gentleman, and it is quite interesting because I think, especially now, where we're in February. February is one of my favorite months, only because I'm Aquarius.
Okay. So is
And
my mum, by the way. My mum's Aquarius as well.
but it's also to do with, because I'm highly engaged in the Black History Month. We have October for the UK and we have February for the US. And I think it's very important where I do reflect on, besides everything else which I do in my podcast as well, in this month, to really go on to, especially for the young generation, to be able to look up to people who are actually achieving, who are moving forward, who are progressing. Because so far we only see history. And I think it's very important for the young generation to see that somebody approachable, somebody of this time, does not necessarily just reflect the culture which has been portrayed in the media. They have chances, they have choices, they have ambitions, they have dreams, and everything can be fulfilled.
Okay, here we go then. Originally, I'm not a stand-up comedian. My real profession, my real background, I'm an accountant. Yeah, there's a contrast in it. I was a contact, but I haven't been. I don't play to the stereotype of being a normal accountant. I was always funny. It's always trying to create jokes in my surroundings, right? Which didn't go down well in the accountancy industry. It was nothing like a business saying, "Oh, we're going to be made." I don't know. We're running out of money, and I'm there laughing. You run out of money. No, it didn't play well. I started comedy from a very early age, and I know this comes from school, where I wasn't a joker, but I was a comedian.
Right.
So there's a difference between being a joker, playing stupid practical jokes, and people laughing at you rather than people laughing with you. I was a comedian from the age of 8 years old in school. I used to make people laugh, and then the teachers homed in on that from me and asked me to write plays, school plays. So it all started from school. Although my parents didn't want me to be like a comedian, they wanted me to take my work, you know, um,
Go and
proper.
be doctor. Go and do some job.
Well, not particularly doctor, but I have a career because comedy was not classed as a career. It was definitely not classed as a career. How could you make money from telling jokes? That's in my parents says that's stupid. That's stupid, boy. Go and do something proper. So that's that kind. I got that backlash.
You've got an Indian accent. Wow.
What? Sorry. And so I ended up doing doing because I was good at maths, good at figures, so I ended up doing accounts. But the comedy's always been with me. I've always still written the plays, although I was, taking my career seriously in terms of accountancy, and I always wrote plays. I ended up being in the plays, and then I ended up writing comedy for other people,
Right.
and that was seen as fruitful. I was still making money because accountants, we make money, man, by any means necessary. So I made money from writing scripts for other people, and then I was approached by a mutual friend who said to me, "Look, I got a mate who's a comedy show. Why don't you team up with him and go and do this yourself? Because you're good at it." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Me going on stage and talking for other people? Nah, that's not me. That's a scary thing." And believe you me, it's one of the scariest things that someone can ever do is to stand up and talk in front of people you don't know. That's scary. And I could write for you all day and tell you what to say. This is yeah, but for me to actually do it, I was scared. Um, and they gave me 2 months to prepare 5 minutes material. And
Oh, wow.
that doesn't seem long. 5 minutes is like talking for 5 minutes is long, trust me. It is very long and it's very scary, especially to people you don't know. And so within those 2 months, I lost about a stone in weight because I was nervous. I was me and the toilet were best friends, because boy, I tell you. So those 2 months were very hard for me and the nerves, but it was good because then I learned about nervous energy, which is something that you probably well aware. Nervous energy was good. It was playing on me, and so when I hit the stage, me and my nerves, because all in my mind is this has got to be fun. This has got to be right. I was brilliant for the first time, and I thought, this is easy stuff. That's what I thought. Second time I hit the stage, nothing. I died. This is what made me get into comedy seriously because I said to myself, okay, how could first time I was so funny, the second time I wasn't, and it dawned on me because I didn't take it serious enough. That nervous energy that I had the first time was that sort of like vehicle behind me going, go on, you could do this. Go on, you could do this. You're good at this. It doesn't matter if you feel, go on. It was a drive mechanism. The second time, I didn't have that because I was too arrogant, flippant,
Yeah.
and I could do this. I didn't have nothing to drive me. There was nothing there. It was just like, oh, yeah, go on. And when I gone, and I died. I took comedy serious, and I went into it. I read about comedy. I watched comedians. I saw how things worked. I saw what works, what doesn't work. I saw there's a formula. Being maths, I did maths. I realized there's a formula to this. It's not just you go out there, and the formula is, you set the joke up, you got a middle, then you have to have a punch. That's freeze. My lucky number is free. I dwelled on this free. All right, tell them the joke is free. Then I dwelled in, how can I get someone to laugh every 8 seconds, every 9 seconds? And I realized it's the way you need to write. How do I write the jokes then? You see, so I went into it deep. And when I started to go out and perform, I was timing myself, not the comedians, timing myself. How long is it going to take me to get this audience to laugh in the time frame that I want them to laugh at, but getting them to understand what I'm talking about, so not rushing your material. And then that developed me into writing comedy more specific, because comedy will mess up your English language. Trust me, it would, because you got to get to a point quicker, and you've got to miss out all the fancy bits in comedy. So it's punchline, 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 punchline. And I seem to master that in a short space of time. And in my first year of doing stand-up, I won an award for the best newcomer. I was like, yeah, this is good. This is good stuff. But I put in a lot of work. I went on comedy in 2000, and I got the walls behind me, 2003, or was it 2003? And then I won another award for the most original.
Okay.
And so, I went on from there. I just started to go abroad, do my comedy abroad. I was approached by management. I didn't feel I wanted to take management on board. And the purely because the reason is I didn't want someone to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And that was kind of hard for me to accept, for someone to tell me what to do, because I know all my life I've been doing things for myself. So I haven't accepted someone saying, do this, do that, do that. To me, that's like, oh, I'm conforming to what society wants me to be. And I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. And I am where I am today because maybe I've been a bit obnoxious and not taken on board, some influences, because I realize now that in order to get through to this industry, you do need another vehicle. And that other vehicle is the one I dismissed. In other words, what I'm talking about, that energy from a management point of view, to give me that drive that I initially had in the beginning, where I was thriving on my my skill, what do I call it? Flight or fright.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
When I first went on stage, that nervous energy, I've still got nervous energy when I go on stage, but I need now management to sort of give me that boost. And that's what I've missed out on. And I only realized that 20 years later.
That is one of my coaching skills, which I
know that's
give
when
out.
I first taught you, I said to you, business. Remember what I first said to you? Okay. Go for it, girl.
That is one of my coaching skills, which I give to my clients as well, because whatever you want to pursue, there's a lot of talented people out there in any industry, but talent alone doesn't actually get you anywhere. Or most of the time, you have to be really super lucky to really survive on talent alone. It needs a strategy, like you created your own strategy in the script writing of comedy. But at the same time, I say, if you want to achieve something, you go and learn it. So if you want to own, for instance, become a business owner of a coffee shop or entrepreneur, create new coffees, for instance, you go and work in a Costa or in a coffee shop to find out how it exactly works. You don't just learn how to make coffees. You also learn how to serve customers, how the entire procedure works, how the management works, how the procurement works, how the selling point works. So you learn a lot of points along the way, which you can then take onto your own business and then expand from that further. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that they have to put this work in first before diving head over heels into something where they only have a friction of knowledge.
So I did it the right way around. Thank you for that. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay.
It is possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but the way how to pursue certain things will be a lot more difficult than doing it a longer route, choosing a longer route, first working in a certain industry and just learn how it works. I mean, you don't need to broadcast or exploit what you're actually trying to do. But it's always good to learn certain things. It's not possible in every industry, especially in things which I'm doing. It's not possible because you can't really learn how to act in certain settings. You have to be able to understand certain things. But A lot of industries work like this.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to ask me the next question. I'm like, come on, bring it on now, bring it on. Bring
Yes,
on it.
no, I mean, it's very interesting what you talked about your early childhood, and I think that's really interesting to know about from for a lot of people, that you didn't actually come and just said you want to be a comedian. You grew into that, but at the same time, you still had a ground talent, something which actually drove you into that, and you tapped into this very, very beautifully, because I think a lot of people don't actually realize they have something in them which can actually be expanded to something greater, and completely dismiss that because of circumstances, because of other things going on. They grow up, maybe external influences, but you have hold on to that, which is a remarkable thing to do, because not many people are able to recognize these kind of things.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I have to hold on to it. This, my humor comes from my mother and my father. Um, and my father I lost last year. No, my father, yeah, last year. Wow, that's quick. I lost my father last year, and he was what I call my hero. I've always had an ambition to make my book into a film and have my mother and father just looking at me and saying, saying that's my boy there, but that's that kind of, self-praise. But that didn't happen. Unfortunately, I lost my father. My mum's still here, and she's still going through her old illnesses, old age. But it's my ambition to have that book turned into a film for one of my parents to see it. That's my second. See, that's my drive for my book, and that's why I'm really into my book at the moment. My mum has got to see that book into a film. That's my drive. Yeah, that's why I am.
But
That's why.
that's the great thing. Regardless of what drive you have to have some form of drive in you. And that's for the young generation to understand these things as well. Whatever you're doing, make sure you have some form of ambition, motivational ambition in front of you, which you can
Right.
hold on to.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be real. It doesn't have to be something which actually creates these opportunities for you. But once you have this kind of mindset, you create your own opportunities. You wouldn't need anyone else to do so.
I'm hearing you, I'm hearing you loud and clear, because it's the second person that said that to me. Yeah. Once you've
A
got
lot
these
of people,
transformations.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand that
Mm.
once your mindset, and I'm a transformational mind coach,
Check you out, huh?
I focus on lifestyle and mindset change, and conditioning and reconditioning your mind, healing from the foundation, and then just elevating from this. Because what you cannot do is, you've built onto a foundation and you expanded that, because this was your foundation: comedy, thoughtfulness, writing these scripts, and then expanding from that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people grab onto something else which is not theirs, which is not
Okay.
there in the first place. And they then want to expand from this or achieve something from this. You cannot achieve from something which you don't have in the first place.
Right.
And that is the difference. That is why you have become so successful in your own way, because you have actually built onto something or expanded from something which you already had from the core. And you could just, it's like a flower bouquet, you grow a seed and you just expand from that and create your own world.
Cool. I feel like I'm already in a lesson. There's some life forces here, yeah, boy. You're meant to be here today, son. Learning some stuff. Yeah, go for it, girl.
But that's the good thing about that. I mean, how do you generally feel? There must be a lot of challenges which have come across to you as well.
Unfortunately, these challenges have come from society, to tell the truth. We're not going to get into the color thing, because that's always there in every institution. Oh God, we call them gatekeepers that stop people from progressing. But let's bypass
we
that.
still have to bring it up, because a lot of people do focus too much on this element. and then lose their direction actually in what their purpose really is, what they wanted to achieve. And that's why it's important to do point at that these things are there. We just have to be able to manage these things.
Well, I'm trying to bypass it, but it's very difficult in this industry. It's very, very, very difficult. And I've encountered it in every industry I'm in. Because the three industries I'm in, well, they're all to do with making people happy. Everything I've done is making people, apart from accountancy, but making people happy. First of all, I had an organic company. I use my accountancy to make an organic company. So I'm in an organic company, and it's a very small community, the organic world. And my company was labeled as a black organization, which was detrimental to the company itself. So I had to come out of that field, and I went into fitness because I've been training in fitness all my life. That's something that comes hand in hand with mind, body, soul, spirit. Training is essential for me. All right. So not only do you have to keep your mind exercised, your body has to be exercised, and the food, hence organic food, etc., etc. And then exercise to keep your body nice and good. And even that you encounter problems with people. It's in terms of your color and race, who wants to train with you, who doesn't train with you. So everything I've done is to make people happy, but I've encountered barriers. Yeah. Now I'm at the stage that, well, I could just say, to those barriers and then progress myself. But there's only so far you can get. So you're right saying it is a problem that has to be mentioned because it's there. Yeah. All right. That barrier is there and will always be there as long as we've got those hierarchy and the way people perceive color as an issue. Mm. And I do talk about it a lot in comedy. Yeah. Whereas you find some other comedians who won't talk about it. I don't find myself being classed as being politically correct because I'm not. I'm not. And you can see that and hear it from my comedy. It's just one of those things. Anyway, good.
Well, we're talking about color. Okay. We do have to, we have emphasized that it is important to recognize, to acknowledge that this problem is there. But this is not to say that it would discourage you in doing what you're doing. No. So how have you actually surpassed this problem over and over again to get to the point where you are now?
I just persevere with what I'm doing because the audience is like me. And that's a great thing. You have the audiences that love you. But again, you have the management or the people that all own the companies that are iffy about you. But all I could do is just keep doing what I'm doing because it's satisfying the audience and also it's fulfilling me. It's one of my ambitions. You know what I mean? It's fulfilling me. But there will be a point where, I do have to open that door. And that's what I'm trying to look for. How do I open that door? Right? Because I don't want to, again, conform to what society wants me to be. I don't want to go on stage and lose my true values of what I think and how I process my thoughts and how I deliver my thoughts. I don't want someone to say to me, no, oh, you can't say that. Yeah? Because for years I've been doing what I'm doing and making thousands of people laugh by saying what I'm saying. I don't want someone to come along and say, you can't say that no more. You know what I'm saying? It was like, well, I can because that's my thoughts. I don't see why my opinions or my thoughts should affect people that much to the point where they're saying you can't do that or you can't say that.
I think society has gone this way, but you're right in saying that there's a form of resilience which you've built, which is very important, which the audience need to know about, and to just go through these barriers regardless of what, and also have a firm understanding and strength and believe in yourself. So not in the sense of that you have formed this belief through proving the society that you can do it, but the belief is in you from the core. You do believe you want to make people happy. You do believe that you're not actually harming anyone. You do believe in the way how you present things because they work for you. And that's what people have to hold on to, that whatever belief you have, as long as it's not harming anyone, you need to hold on to that because people will actually will actually derail you because everyone has their own vision. Your vision is only yours. No one else can take that vision or fully understand that vision. So you need to hold on to that.
I will certainly hold on to it. I'll persevere with what I'm doing. I mean,
That's fantastic to know. So, yes, I mean, you've talked about all your professional life now, how you've actually pursued that, your challenges. Tell me a bit about your personal life.
well, what do you want to know? I'm looking for cameras in it. What do you want to know about my person?
What you would you like to disclose, depending on I mean, all this career which you've been doing, has that actually originated from St. Lucia, or has that actually emerged here in the UK in general?
Um, Being St. Lucian, it's it's funny in itself because the Caribbean, the way they travel, their thoughts are very different. When I say different, the way we see things, there's humor in everything. Um, in the Caribbean, there is humor in what I mean. When I say everything, I mean everything. Um, so I don't have no barriers when it comes to making jokes about any scenario or anything. So that vehicle has come with me. I'll come to in this country, you can't have humor, yeah, because people will condemn you for it. But I see humor in everything, and I really want to say it, and I will say it. Yeah, this year I'm not holding back. This is not. I mean, I'm not going out to offend anybody because I don't really offend anyone in my jokes. Although you do know jokes,
Yeah.
there's always a perpetrator in a joke, right? But I'm not holding back this year. I'm going to say exactly what's on my mind, and I'm doing that. And you have to watch out for me this year because I'm doing a series of 4 one-man shows this year, and I'm going to get that now. And that will be in September, October of the 2023. It's something that I should have done a long time ago. It's something that everybody wanted me to do a long time ago, but I've only just realized. Just realized. I mean, I'm only in a situation where I could do it now because I couldn't do it before.
That
Yeah.
sounds very interesting. That means you would have stand-up comedy shows. Is that what we're expecting soon on your own?
On my own. So you're going to be listening to me for 1 hour
Oh, wow.
of just jokes. So if you can see how that 5 minutes when I was
Yeah.
scared 20 years ago has transcended itself into 1 hour of comedy, 1 hour. Yeah. And that's this year. I'm doing 4 1 hour shows.
That is remarkable, actually. I mean, people don't realize actually this 1 hour show takes several hours of work.
What? This the 1 hour show would take about 7, yeah, you're right, years of work, not just 7 hours. It takes years of work. You have to find a joke. Is the joke going to be funny? How do I test this joke out? You can't, what that demographics am I going to test it out to? Oh God, where? It depends on the area. What am I going to wear? There's a lot of thing that goes into doing stand-up. People just think you just go on stage and do that. No, everything's tested. Everything has been tested. But the beauty that I have, because I've been doing it for a long time, plus I improvise a lot. So I can be, spontaneous on stage and just say things that are funny naturally. Because it's
And I suppose you also look at the reaction of the audience as well, and
oh, I
then
gauge that. Yes,
react to that.
I gauge that. I have this thing where I'm saying to, all right, this is going to sound funny, but I have this thing. I say, right, audience, I'm going to make you mine. That's always going through my head. I'm going to make you mine. And it's how I'm going to make you mine. And it's when am I going to make you mine? And it's what I do to make you mine. Do you see what I mean? When I say,
You're imagining your audience like a woman who you desire. Is that what it is?
but I just imagine them as being a part of me, but they have to buy into me. And I have to say to myself, how quickly can I get them to buy into me? All right. And when they do that, I'm going to make them mine. When I say I make them mine, it means I can take them on a journey and bring them anywhere I want to, but they're still laughing with me along that journey. So that's when I'm going to make you mine. Yeah. If I say I'm just going to make you laugh, that's just mean I'm going to make you laugh. No, I want you to be mine today, and let me just take you on this journey. Come with me. Come on, follow me. Come on. That type of thing. And that's always in my head. I'm going to make you mine.
But that is the good thing. I mean, to be honest, every job which you do, if you don't have this kind of mentality in your mind, you wouldn't fulfill it to the fullest how it should be. You don't put your compassion, you don't put your heart into that. That's what I do with life coaching as well. I want my client to just be captivated
You want to
without
make them yours, yeah? Go on. Go on.
I want my client to be captivated without them feeling being controlled. So it's
Yes.
a controlled environment without being without having the feeling that they're being controlled. I want them to feel in charge, a bit like women do it to men.
I wouldn't know.
Make them feel they're in charge, they're in control,
yeah,
they're making decisions.
yes, yes, indeed.
And that's how it should work, actually. Because otherwise, as a professional, if you let everything, I mean, it's good to be natural anyway and to improvise, but at the same time, if you don't have a form of control in what you're actually presenting, it can go anyway. And like you said, with your second performance after the first performance, it went wrong because you didn't have a plan. You didn't actually have understanding of that it does need to have a certain form of control and compassion and thought process behind it to be able to present well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you all the way, though.
So, yes, I mean, all talking about this in general, are you, and they say that about comedian a lot and about people who laugh in general a lot anyway, are you generally a satisfied, content, happy person yourself?
Yes. But in terms of me as an individual, am I a happy person? Yes, but there can be some down times.
But that is human.
Yeah, I'm human, I was going to say at the end of the day. But most of the time, I am happy. Or shall I say, I like to joke a lot. Yeah. The only times I'm serious, if you don't put serious in brackets, serious in terms of let me just fulfill something today and not joke around, is when I'm writing, yeah, or when I'm focused on something important.
I think this wasn't my question. What I was trying to point onto is a lot of comedian or a lot of people who actually seem to be, appear to be very happy to the outside world, to their environment.
Have a depressing inside.
Yes, not just depressing, but there are some form of trauma involved in the background, which where there's various reasons for that. Some people would like to mask that, so other people, it's a defense mechanism that somebody that they don't become vulnerable to the world. But other people don't want other people to feel like this. So, is there anything you would think you may be emphasizing so much on your on this profession to make other people laugh that you're actually trying to compensate for something?
Not that I am aware of. It might be something that is inside me, but I do say the loss of my father has created a lot of sadness inside me. So it's, if anything, it would be love, losing loved ones. That hurts me. And that's what I mask. Because when it comes to relationships, I've yet to find someone to love. Yeah. I can be in love with you, but I need to love that person. And that's my barriers, is trying to find someone to love. Yeah. Not being in love with them. That's different. I'm talking about love complete. in love with that person. That's where my barriers are.
Right. But this must be quite recent because your father only passed away last year.
Yeah, but he's opened a can of worms.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he opened a can of worms. Ross, but I really love this man. Do you know what I mean? Because he was I call him my hero. Because me and my father had a relationship. It's like, all right, he's my dad, but he's also my mate. And we would banter a lot with each other, would make jokes with each other. He was that person. And losing him, I've lost it feels like I've lost an element of me. Something's gone.
So you lost kind of your best friend. That's how it sounds like.
Well, yeah, I can go back to my father and talk to my father about anything. You know what I mean? And sit down and talk and have a laugh. As long as I gave him a drink, because he used to drink a lot. You talk about anything, but I've lost that. And but he's just opened a can of worms. And, boy, I really I need love. I need to be loved. You with me? And then I go, am I reaching out to the audience for them to love me? Do I want them to like me too much? You don't see, it makes your brain start going, do you want them to love you? Do you want them to love you too much? What am I looking for? What am I searching for? That's what my dad's over. That kind of.
Okay. But is that maybe something where you're searching for self-love?
Not really, because I love myself.
Okay.
That sounds messed up. No, but when I say I love myself, I love what I've achieved, but I don't think it's being recognized. Now, this goes back to the same thing what I'm saying to you. I've achieved a lot within myself, but do I want someone else to recognize it, which is the love? Love me for what I have done or for what I have achieved. I have not got that yet.
Right.
Yeah, I got a lot of people come up and say, go for it, go.
This may not come from a, if you're looking for a potential partner, for instance, this may not come from a partner because the partner would love you for who you are, not for what you've achieved. I mean, this is a byproduct. The love to what you've achieved would be a byproduct to that. But first and foremost, a partner should actually love you for who you are, you as a person. The other things of achievement, of what you have, how your life is, all these things should be a byproduct. Otherwise, if you get someone who loves you for what you've achieved, that is a different agenda.
No, see what? No, sorry, I think we might have cross purposes here. I'm not looking for someone to love me as an individual. I'm talking about, you see, my work, what I've done in the comedy, the books, the training of people. That in itself, I've done a lot of work and I've been appreciated, but I need to be loved for it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. I need someone embrace it and say, you know what? This guy is great. And you're showing me that I'm great for, for the love that you're going to give me. I think that's what's missing in my life. And I'm searching for that. And hence why I say it goes back to the same thing. The barriers, the people in charge are stopping me from getting that love from the majority or the masses. So I'm getting limited a bit for all the work that I've done. But I want the masses to appreciate the work I've done.
Which is understandable. If you put so much work into something, you do want the recognition. But at the same time, I think because of these barriers which are up, because of certain people, because of certain hierarchical structures, the beauty nowadays is what we didn't have 10, 15 years ago, is the likes of social media.
There you go.
Of social media. So once you actually understand how that works, you could actually promote your own self. You could market your own self through the likes of social media.
And that's something I need to learn. NH. Right.
That's fantastic. Well, comedy is always well received on social media, which I've seen, especially, I mean, I'm quite big on TikTok and LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
And on those platforms, I think especially TikTok for your industry does work really well, because I see comedian who may have not achieved half of the things which you've achieved, but just because of these short clips, our audience has a very short attention span, and they need something which grabs to them, which works really well on these platforms. So I would suggest just to go on to tap into that and just try out with short clips how it works. And I would believe, I mean, I haven't heard you
You haven't?
playing on stage so far.
You need to come to one of my shows.
I should. So, but I would assume that it would, whatever you are explaining to me, whatever you talk to me about today, that it would work really well on all these platforms. And that's how you expose yourself.
I will investigate. It's something again that I should have done ages ago, but time. Yeah. Again, you're gonna put time into it. I'm all for that. As long as I'm learning from it, as long as I get something from it, I will do it.
That's fantastic. Well, it's been lovely talking to you, actually.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful, quite enlightening actually to see someone from a different industry as well. I've worked with a lot of musicians, with business people, with people from all sorts of walks of life. But to talk to a comedian, it's actually quite interesting, because we all face, it seems like people forget actually that people in public's view, like yourself and mine, we are still human beings. And that's what people need to understand, that we still go through adversities, we still go through challenges, we still have to actually achieve and work hard for what we've done.
Yeah.
Where we're at the moment. So it doesn't come in the way that we are safeguarded from all these different challenges. We still have to go through that, because we're all human beings at the end of the day.
Indeed.
And we fall and we make mistakes.
and we climb back up again.
That's right. It's all about climbing back up.
So you can't keep
giving up.
Down. Yeah.
That's the message for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this show. And thank you very much for coming on as well. Let me turn the recording off. Just to say to my audience, if you like the show, click a like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button, share, send me all your love you want. And yes, give me your feedback, whatever you would like, so I can create even more interesting content. Let me turn it off. Thank you very much. If you like the clip, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more to come.